Hey there, it's Casey Dimon, TaxLawAcademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. So from time to time, I'll see questions or comments, and people are asking the easiest way to log addresses when they're trying to physically locate tax sale properties for drive-bys and research. And there's nothing wrong with putting forth that effort, but that question itself kind of raises a huge concern for me. Unfortunately, it's not a matter of just helping somebody locate properties by providing the best way to log addresses. The issue is that an address is simply used as more or less a shortcut to finding those properties. So let me explain this. The county is selling the legally described real estate only. They are selling a legal description. That's the legal way to describe a very specific parcel of real estate. Okay, so it's used on the deed itself. It's used on all sorts of legal documents. That is what you buy. It's the dirt. It's the box that surrounds the second story condo. It's very, very specific. It could be a meets and bounds measured description, for instance, or it could be in a recorded subdivision. It might have a block and a lot number, even a unit number. Now, some counties might provide addresses on their tax list, and they do this as a courtesy. And they wouldn't intentionally try to mislead somebody. But most of the time, these addresses are shortcuts and they're going to be accurate. But there are those situations where they're not. Understand that you are not buying an address at a tax sale. You are buying the legally described real estate only. If that address happens to be on that legally described real estate, then fantastic, no problem. If it doesn't though, then tough luck. You bought that legally described land, not that address. I've seen situations before where a beautiful home and an alleyway behind that home technically have the same address. And guess what sold? Not that beautiful home, the alleyway sold. Same address, but they sold the alleyway. I've also seen rural areas where multiple properties have the same address or part of the address is the same. And it can get incredibly confusing for many people. Maybe it is 2130A and 2130B, for example. But in reality, on that tax list, it just says 2130. Some people might think you get both 2130A, 2130B, when you might not get either one, but instead, you own the easement to both of them, right? Because 2130 describes it. Outside of all that stuff, have you ever thought about the more practical side of things? Talking about on-the-ground type stuff. Can you actually find a property by the address alone? You probably think you can. In many scenarios, you probably are right. But if you can, how do you even verify that the address you're looking at a house matches what you see on the computer screen and matches, most importantly, that legal description that you're buying? I used to think it was very, very easy. Just give me the address and I'll find the property. That's until about the 10th time where I drove in circles for 2 hours trying to find one silly house. Not to mention how confusing some addresses can be, especially when you're in an unfamiliar area and you have a laptop out in a rented car and you're suspiciously creeping slowly by everyone's house, staring at them, looking for those street numbers, right? When you put yourself in that situation, you're looking for, say, 2nd Avenue Road, and you can quite easily end up on 2nd Avenue instead and not even realize it. More than one person has purchased a house one street over from where they thought they were buying something. Another very, very common situation is that you just can't find an address. A demolished building doesn't have numbers on the front door. And in some situations, nobody in that area has numbers on the front door. You're literally trying to find one person somewhere that has street numbers, and then you're counting houses trying to guess which property you're going to be buying. I've been on trips before where I've had an extremely tight schedule, and it gets extremely frustrating to keep driving in circles and not being able to locate a house that you're going to buy the next day. So I'm telling you, this is not the position to put yourself in. Not only might the address just be wrong, but the address might also be impossible or very difficult to find. So here's what I recommend. Instead of using the address, use GPS coordinates. Sure, write that address down, make it in your notes. Maybe it'll help you at some point, but don't rely on it solely. Log those GPS coordinates into your GPS device. Then let those coordinates take you to that property. GPS coordinates are precise. Addresses aren't always that precise. I'll be posting a video in the next few days, and I'll link it down below when I do, about how you can find the GPS coordinates for your property based off the property assessor's page, GIS, and or plat map information. That way you can guarantee with 100% certainty you know exactly what you're buying, and you can easily find it when you're out in the field doing a drive-by or looking at it. In the meantime, just remember this. Don't put all of your trust and all of your money into that address that you found for that property. Find something that is much more specific and much easier to find. I truly hope that this video has helped you out, and be on the lookout in the next few days for that video that I'll be releasing on locating properties utilizing GPS coordinates. In the meantime, if you're looking to learn more about investing in tax-defaulted real estate, just head on to TaxSaleAcademy.com. There's a link down below in the show notes. When you're there, you can pick up my free book, The Tax Sale Playbook. Just cover the cost of shipping. Or if you're ready to go all in and get started as soon as possible, join the Academy. Again, the same website, TaxSaleAcademy.com. Just click on Join. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.